Hey guys, it's Sam C from The Fugitives, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a few tips on how to fly a plane in PlanetSide 2. So you'll see that there are 6 panels in the warp gate. The 2 at the end are for spawning galaxies, which are basically just transport ships. So for the sake of this video, I will be flying a Reaver, which is basically a anti-air ship. And those can be spawned on the left or the right, those 4 panels that you see. And we're going to go spawn those. You can also spawn Liberators there as well. However, if you are a different faction, the Reaver might be called something different like a Scythe or a Mosquito, but for the sake of this video I am new conglomerates, which means I'll be flying a Reaver. You'll see that I do have a cooldown right now. You might want to purchase the certification that actually decreases the time that it takes to spawn, because I think default it is 10 minutes or so once you spawn a new Reaver. But under the secondary weapon, you'll see that I have A2AM pod missiles equipped. Those are basically anti-air missiles. They can lock onto other ships and are very helpful for fighting other ships in the air. However, those do cost 700 station cash, which can be purchased with real money, or I believe 500 certifications, which is a large amount of certifications. But now that the cooldown is done, I'm going to spawn a vehicle, and you'll see that the first thing I did was go into third person. That'll give me a better idea of what my surroundings are, and you can do that by pressing T. However, when you're in combat, you'll see that in first person you have a crosshair and all of your UI right there, so you will want to be in first person when in combat, and you can just go back to first person by pressing T. But some of the basic controls are spacebar is something that makes you ascend, and then C actually makes you descend, and W to accelerate or go forward, and S will actually slow you down. So landing in the Reaver can be kind of difficult because the deceleration on the Reaver is very fast, so you can never really come to a complete stop. So what I usually do is just slow down as much as I can, and then when I'm landing, just tap W a few times while I'm about to hit the ground. You'll see that was a bit rocky, but it's still fine, and I landed without any damage. Another good thing to do is spawn as an engineer when flying ships, because you can get out and repair. I am currently light assault, but I was not prepared for this video, obviously. Another thing you can do is press equal to go into autopilot or cruise control. That will just make you accelerate at all times, and you won't have to press W. So it's kind of helpful when fighting, but you will want to be careful with that because you don't want to fly ahead of the ship you're fighting, or fly into it for that matter, or even fly into a rock. You never know. So be careful when using cruise control. However, it is nice for transporting as well from place to place. But we're going to get into some combat here and just give you a few basic tips that might help you out. So what I like to do is just slowly orbit the place that the fighting is happening at, and just kind of scope out an enemy to attack. So I just take it slow, and I keep my altitude at a pretty high level, but not too high, whereas I can't see anything or it takes me forever to get back down. And so I see an enemy here. So I mean, he's pretty deep into our territory, which means he's not going to last very long. And so I just try and take him out with an anti-air pod. And to actually do that, you will have to scroll down on your mouse wheel, and that will equip the pods, and then you can just kind of hover your cursor over him, and eventually the red box that's blinking around him will turn green, which means you have a lock-in, and then you can fire the gun. However, they can use flares to actually get out of that lock, or they can just line of sight you, so you're going to want to get somewhat close so you can get an easy shot. And even though the Reaver is mostly good at anti-air, you can still attack ground, and you'll see that I kind of started attacking that Scythe there as well, but I was in too deep, and I'm not going to want to chase that guy at that altitude, so I kind of just circle around and get out, and then I see another Scythe here, so I go in for the lock, but I was pretty deep in enemy territory at this point, so I basically just turn around pretty quickly here, because I definitely don't want to get killed. And you'll see that, you know, I escape narrowly, but you definitely don't want to do that, go into enemy territory like that, because you're going to get outnumbered, and if you do get outnumbered, you're not going to win that fight. So you're going to always want to try and stick with other ships that are a part of your faction. And you can see here that I land. I wasn't light assault, but I did end up switching to engineer after I landed, and then I was able to repair from there. So just try and find a safe spot if you do need to repair in combat. And make sure there's a flat surface as well, because you might end up flipping your ship, and that's not going to be good. So from here I can repair my ship and get straight back into the fight. However, if I was low on ammo and I wanted to restock that, I would have to land on a landing pad, and this is one of those right here. So just have to land on it, and then it will slowly regenerate your ammo over time. It won't take too long, especially for the pods, because you only have 5 in total, I believe. So just quickly restock, and then you can get into the fight again, especially with full ammo. Another helpful tip would be to rebind E to something else, because by default it is the eject button, and that is pretty close to W and D, so you might actually accidentally hit that sometimes, and that's not going to be something you want to do. So just be sure to rebind that if needed, because you don't want to eject in the middle of combat. That's never going to be any fun. So that's pretty much it for this video though, so thanks for watching. And be sure to subscribe if you want to see more PlanetSide 2 content. But anyways, I'll see you next time. Peace.